What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Ralph from Hot Sugar Tea, and today, with it being October, we're going to answer this question: what is my favorite horror movie? Now, with it being Halloween, this time of ghosts and ghouls and goblins and blood and terror, my favorite horror movie of all time is actually the film 1986 Aliens. Now, I know it's not A Nightmare on Elm Street, which is also another favorite, The Thing, and a few others, but for me, it's Aliens simply because of the fact that I'm a big science fiction fan. So it takes a sci-fi movie, and if you ever saw the first Alien, right, that was the one by one they get killed to the one that's left survivor. This one, this girl comes back to this planet 57 years in the future with a big old squad of Marines behind her, packing big guns, grenades, yada yada yada, and they still fall victim to the aliens. And besides, got one of the best classic lines in all of film history.
Get away from her, you bitch!
So how could you not count Aliens? But that's my personal favorite. I know you all have yours, and that's fine. I know someone said Nightmare on Elm Street. I like Nightmare on Elm Street. Jaws is a classic horror movie, you know, and a few others that off the beaten path, such as Near Dark. If you ever saw a movie called The Hidden, you know, The Conjuring, you know, The Exorcist. I mean, they're all great, but for me, mine is Aliens. But I'm gonna sit here also today because with it being Halloween, ghosts, ghouls, goblins, I'm gonna tell you about a horror story. This is when little Ralph, little kid, was about 5 years old, right? And I tell this story from time to time. People think I'm crazy, but I'm really not. When I was 5 years old, one day my mom comes to me and my brother, who was 4 years old. She says, "We're going to the movies. We could either go see Carrie, or we go see the Pink Panther." Now me, I'm a little kid, and I'm like, let's go see Carrie. And I was like, you sure? I was like, yeah, let's go see Carrie. So okay. I didn't know what Carrie was about, right? We pull up to the theater, we go in the theater, and if you ever saw Carrie by Stephen King, starring Sissy Spacek, you know, in the very beginning, right, when she's getting accosted in the girls' locker room, and it was a little horror themed, you know, but what did it for me was the prom. When she's in the prom and she's got the flowers in the hand and she's smiling because she was the outcast girl, then all of a sudden they dropped this whole big bucket of pig blood on her, right? And she's standing there looking, and she freaks out because she had the power to telekinetic, so she locks all the doors and she kills everybody in sight. Everybody that ever bothered her, everybody ever annoyed her, she takes her revenge on them. Now I'm 5 years old, so now I'm kind of getting a little traumatized. I'm like, yo, what the hell? What's going on here? Mom, right? So then it goes to where she goes into her house, and now she takes it out on her mother, right? And her mother have been going at it for years. So what does Carrie do? Because now she's pissed. By telekinesis, she starts throwing knives at her mother to pin her up against the wall, right? To get her revenge. Then she burns the house down, and both of them die in this house fire, right? And then one of the girls who was kind of sort of nice to her comes to see what's going on. She sees the house burning, and she tries to save her, but she can't. So the next day, and this is what did it, right? And this is where the story gets real interesting, right? The next day in the movie, she comes to the house, you know, and Carrie's hand comes up through the ground and grabs her. And I was like, ah! And I go running full speed out of the movie theater, right? And I'm freaked out by this movie. I'm like, oh my god, right? So we go, now this is where the story gets deeper. So we go home, right? And see, at the time, people were taking the Stephen King's books and making them into movies, but what they did is that they would take the poster and put the poster on the cover of the hardback book. So the cover of the book was a split screen of Carrie, one of her nice and calm, smiling, hi, and the other one of her covered in pig's blood. And it freaked me out for years. And for years, right, the house we lived in, the way it was designed, I really thought that one of them would be in the bed and Carrie's going to come walking through the house, like in the pig blood with this glow around her, and she was going to kill me. So me being the dumb kid that I was, I went and one day I grabbed the book, right? And we had a back porch, and the back porch was this deep freezer. So I take the book and I throw it behind a deep freezer, right? So that, because I mean, if it's behind a deep freezer, she can never come alive. That's what I'm thinking, right? Dumb kid. To this day, right? It's X amount of years later. I wasn't gonna say how old I am, but you could tell by the grades I'm kind of old. But to this day, I have never rewatched Carrie. I refuse to do it. I know that sounds kind of punkish, but I don't care. I refuse to do it. I've never watched Carrie. I've never watched the sequel that they did Carrie 2. Then they did a remake of Carrie with Grace Mortz, the girl that played Hit Girl in Kick-Ass. I've never seen any of them. When it comes on television, I don't look at it. Matter of fact, about 6 months ago, I was in Chicago, and they were doing this documentary on the director of Carrie, and they started to play Carrie and the thing. I was like, nope, turned it off. Carrie freaks me out to this day. And I know India is sitting there watching this, and she's saying, Ralph, you got to confront your fears. And she's right. So maybe one day I will sit up there and really look at Carrie from beginning to end as a grown-up now. And maybe I'll sit there and say, you know what? It ain't really so scary. But to the 5-year-old, it was terrifying. So parents, this is the deal. When you give your kid that kind of question, like, do you want to go see this horror movie or you want to go see this comedy? Don't give them the question. Just take them to see the comedy. Don't let horror when they're in the teens and they can start handling it. I know horror movies are a little more tamer nowadays, but they're still scary to 5-year-olds. So with that being said, happy Halloween. And parents, look, it's Halloween coming up. Okay, trick or treat. All you gotta get kids for your trick or treat is Kit Kats, Snickers, Twizzlers, and Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Don't go giving them no damn apples. Don't go give them some candy that you need a book to figure out what it is. Snickers, Twizzlers, Kit Kats, and Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. And you will have a very nice Halloween and no one will trick you. So that's just my little advice. But anyway, happy Halloween. Talk to y'all later. Peace.